everybody. Happy Friday night. It is another night for the Heart of the Matter. Man, we're so excited to be with y'all tonight. We've been waiting to do this particular broadcast. Very excited about it because tonight we're going to talk about family gatherings gone bad. Have any of us ever been at a Thanksgiving family gathering or a Christmas family gathering or a birthday family gathering? And here comes that one crazy uncle. Crazy Uncle Al.
Crazy Uncle Al.
Any of y'all got crazy Uncle Al in your family? We actually really had a crazy Uncle Al in our family. For real. You have Uncle Al, right? He's always just saying things he shouldn't be saying. We're going to go through his persona, right? Then you got social networking Nikki. You can't talk to her. You can't every minute. She's sitting over in the corner. You're just trying to have a, just trying to have a conversation. She just got her latest iPhone, right? She just got the iPhone 11. And man, she don't want to talk about nothing or do nothing, right?
Yes, her
What's another one?
We have
the critical mother-in-law. Oh man. The mother-in-law that always has something to say. Baby, shouldn't you have made more greens? Baby, did you do your hair? Right?
Yeah.
That critical mother-in-law. Man, my mother-in-law my wife's mother-in-law, which was my mother, was the absolute peach of the bunch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a lady that will come to your house because she is sick and she needs somebody to take care of her. And she will tell you what to do in your house. Tell you about yourself in your own. My wife told me, she said, honey, let me tell you one thing. She said, I love you. She said, but know one thing. Me and your mama can never, ever live together.
We did a couple of times.
Yeah, we did. We did a couple of times. Then we got the checked out father-in-law. Man, all he's interested in is the football game, the checkers game, taking a nap. He's only interested in the stuff he's interested in, right? And then the last one we're going to cover tonight is the resentful single aunt. The aunt that ain't been with a man in 20 years. The aunt that ain't been on a date. The aunt that it don't matter. Did you see who she came in the door with? What's wrong with them? Why they let that girl have a boyfriend at 18? The aunt is always in your business. Always has something to say. So anyway, that's kind of like a little bit of the humor part of this. This is actually a very serious conversation. So, as much as we want to believe that, we have the hallmark, picture perfect family, for many of us, that's not necessarily the case. A lot of us actually get a lot of stress and anxiety.
Yes.
When holiday times come, right?
Right.
I think we went through a little bit of that, didn't we?
Oh, we went through a lot of that, yes. Trying to, I guess, please you, and they didn't like that. So that was one of my big things. Where I hated going, how I was towards you, and they, it was the feminist.
Right. Yeah. I think the one thing that we got to remember as believers, and we're believers, so we're going to talk about that a little bit, right? We got to always demonstrate the love of God.
Yeah.
We have a lot of family members that aren't saved or, aren't saved enough. I don't know what you want to call it. They get a little bit of that wine in them. Everything changes with a little bit of wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what we want to talk about tonight, we want to go through those 5 personas that we mentioned. We're going to talk about, Pastor Brain's going to talk about Uncle Al here in a minute. And then we're going to talk about, social networking Nikki. We're just going to talk a little bit about each persona, just a minute or two on each one. And then at the end, I want to spend about 5 or 10 minutes talking about some real helpful hints on things that I think you could do to ensure that you won't end up going home mad, resentful, angry, or in a bad place with your family members. Okay? So let's do it. So let's talk about crazy Uncle Al.
Crazy Uncle Al.
Tell me about your crazy Uncle Al.
Actually, my brother was named Al.
Right.
He was actually my brother, but everybody else is uncle. Al was the one that was really blunt.
Right.
Whatever came up, came out.
Whatever came up, came out.
Yeah, and actually we had a visitor once, I'll never forget it. I'm not gonna call any name, but he had bad breath. And
the visitor did?
Yes.
Okay.
And he walked up to him and said, "Hey, stinky mouth." I'll never forget it. I just wanted to go through the floor. But when he had his joy juice, I mean, whatever he thought about you, he was gonna say, but yeah, he was, and it was someone from the church. So it was.
He always thought I was in the mob.
He called you Big Pizza.
Yeah, he thought, man, I was from New York City. He thought I was mobbed up.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I mean, I would see Al, man, out on the streets. Hey, don't mess with me, man. You know, that's my brother-in-law right there. We'll have you taken care of right now. Uncle Al was special. Al was special. So, you know, we all have that uncle. We all have that crazy one, if you will, in the family. You know, I'm going to talk about some of the things that we do along the way. At the end, I'm going to give you the solutions. But you know, with those particular ones, if they have it in for you, and typically you know who you are, like I got certain relatives that have it in for me. They don't like me. They don't like what I represent. They don't like who I am. So if there's ever a family gathering, I'm always going to catch it, right? So what do? You just kind of stay away from them. Don't engage in conversation. Try to just not interact with that particular person.
It can be difficult because a lot of times they salt you out. They hunt.
They seek you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, you can always slap the crap out of them. No, I'm just. We told y'all this would be a funny show, right? Social networking Nikki. Now, you know, this is the big thing now with all the kids, right? They all got their iPhone. They all got their tablet. They all got their little game. And, man, they don't want to hear nothing from nobody.
No.
They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to conversate with you. You know, they're just always on their phone, always on their tablet. They're over in the corner, right?
Yeah, they don't hear anything you say.
Yeah.
You can call them, they don't hear anything. It's just amazing. It's like they're sucked in to the device.
Right.
Which I think they should put balance there, but I don't get into it with my grandkids, but they do. They love the devices. Either they're on Facebook or Instagram. I got my grandson showing me the latest dance. He want me to come do the dance with him. It's just these competitions with dance, and I got to tell him, man, they ain't got no juice. And he just thinks that's hilarious because I always think it says lame. You know, how they dance compared to how we dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of that going on right now. I got a great one for that. All you got to do is when you're in your house, shut off your Wi-Fi.
They'll lose it. What's the password?
What's the password? Yeah. The critical mother-in-law. Now, you know, mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, this is, you know, you're always there and you're just always expecting that awkward, you know, critique. Hey, Tifa, is that a new wig? You know.
Girl, you're looking good.
Yeah, you know, or how much weight did you gain this year? You know.
You're pregnant?
Yeah, are you pregnant? Right? They're always going to ask you something that's just awkward. And
critical.
You know, and you got to realize, man, you got some mother-in-laws, and I don't know what it is, but man, they got no shame in their game. No filter, no shame. They're going to say, and what's really interesting about the mother-in-law is they always wait until there's a good crowd, right?
Yeah, they want to embarrass you.
They wait till there's like 6 or 7 folks around, you know, and it's like that old song, Who Dropped the Bomb on Me, right? It's like they just dropped the bomb on you, man, and they don't pull no punches.
They want to embarrass you. They want to humiliate you.
Right.
Your mom came over.
Here we go.
I love you, Marva.
Go ahead.
And you talked about the Kraft macaroni and cheese. I had made macaroni and cheese, homemade macaroni and cheese. He doesn't eat this. He eats Kraft macaroni and cheese. It's just always like this competition, you know?
There's always a competition.
Always a competition that I'm not doing enough, or it wasn't good enough, or, you know, or I'm supposed to serve her.
Right.
There's just so many things that they put, you know, just these things they say and do, and then they want you to agree with them.
Right.
If you don't agree with them and their opinions, oh
Right.
boy.
Now, it was funny with my dad. My wife would never believe this, and she found it out right before he died that I was telling her the truth. My dad always admired Franny. He would never tell her that, but he did it. He would tell me, because the way he would tell me that he admired her was he would always tell me, whatever you got going on in your world is good, it ain't because of anything you did. It's only because God gave you a good wife. If it wasn't for that woman, you'd be nothing. You'd be a nobody. You just got lucky. That's what my dad used to tell me.
You did.
Right? He told you that at the very
Yeah, he
end,
did
right?
at the end, yeah.
So, you know, with in-laws, and again, I'm not trying to give you solutions as we go along, but you do got to realize in-laws are in-laws. And, you know, if you're a wife, don't make your husband pick his mom over you. Understand he needs to love his mom and he needs to love you more. So if you're a man, you need to understand you need to love your wife more. But wife, if he has that mom, just be understanding. It's only once or twice a year. Stop being so trivial about it, right? And for the men, you know, if you got that mother-in-law that's kind of taking shots at you, because that happens too, right?
Yes.
Again, remember, it's her mom, right? So I guess when it comes to the moms, that's almost where I give a pass. The in-laws, the mother-in-law and the father-in-law, I'm sorry. That's where I almost give a, wait, what's wrong?
You sit in my
Pastor
face.
Franny ain't willing to give him no pass.
But it can cause a lot of problems in the marriage.
Right,
Because, see, the Bible told us to leave and cleave and to become one.
right.
And you leave your mother and your father.
No, I agree. And you never put that one over him. But you try to be, if you're Christians especially, you try to be the mature adults in the room.
But what I found, a lot of mother-in-laws, once they see that the son is on their side or try to, you know, take up for them, it gets really ugly. Usually they really dive in on you. So
Right.
that's all.
Yeah, so the man does have to stand up.
Yes.
Let's talk about the resentful single aunt.
Mm.
The resentful single aunt. The forever resentful single. You can even talk about a single uncle. You know, Uncle Junebug. You know, he's 56 years old. He wants to go to the club. You know, he's got his hat on and he's got his shirt unbuttoned down to his belly. And he's got a big belly. He's got a one pack. But man, he thinks he's cool. He's got his cool in his ear, you know. And he's always got something to say.
Yeah, he wants to dance with everybody.
He wants to dance with everybody.
He's the
Yeah.
life of the party.
Yeah. Now, the single aunt, the resentful single aunt, she ain't even touched a man in 20 years. So everything relative to the man, right? How's that go?
It's a big problem.
It's a big
A
problem.
lot of times it's a problem with everybody, because even the women that come in, I can't believe she wore that thing. It's so short. Look at her. I
Right.
thought she was a Christian. I mean, either way, you get it. From the bitter, what is she?
Bitter aunt.
The bitter
single
aunt. Yes, the bitter aunt. Why you serve him? He can serve himself.
Right. Right.
Get his plate. You better get your own plate. I
Right.
mean, they have a problem with everyone.
everything. And then the last one is the checked out father-in-law. Man, this guy here, you know, your kids are trying to talk to their granddad. He don't want to have nothing to do with them. I kind of get like that a little bit. Sometimes when everybody comes over, I go up in the room. But I come down and spend my time with them, because I can only take so much of it.
time.
Yeah, I mean, when my house is, because I got an army. I mean, how many we got now when they all come?
12,
No, 12? How many grandkids we got?
5,
And how many children we got?
7, 7 and 5.
We got 7 children.
Oh, us 2, right? So I guess 14.
We got
But
7
Joe-
kids? Oh, you
Oh,
count all of them. Okay.
Yeah.
We got a lot. Obviously, she don't know. She done forgot about some of them. You sure they're all yours?
Oh no.
Okay. We got 4 kids. We got 5 grandkids, and we got a son-in-law,
And us too. It's 12.
and us 2. So I guess it's 12. Anyway, I don't know why our house is pretty big, but it seems like a lot of folks.
Oh, they're so loud.
Yeah, see, we got loud people. They're Italian and black. Think about that for a minute. Italian, loud. Black, loud. Loud and loud makes louder. So we have a pretty loud house. The checked out father-in-law, you know, he's just doing his own thing, right? He's in his corner. He's not talking to anybody. He's not socializing. He don't have anything to say to anybody. We all know that guy, right? And then the last one I want to talk about, you know, we got the peacemaking child, but I want to talk about the meddling in-laws, whichever one they are. They're always trying to get in your business. They're always trying to start something. They love mom more than you love mom. And they do more for mom and dad than you do for mom and dad. And they do more for their kids than, you know, why don't you do this for your child? So all of these things kind of culminate at the holiday get-together. Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthday parties. And this is where things begin to go bad. So what we want to talk about tonight is what are some solutions? If you've had family blowouts, now we made a lot of jokes about this and a lot of fun about it.
Right.
But it's very, very serious. My wife and I had to deal with racial issues. You know, we would go over to her mom's house, and like I tell y'all all the time, y'all think white folks are racist? We'd be over there and the racial conversations would start over there and the racism stuff would start and we would have to leave. Why? Because we set boundaries. My wife and I would talk about things. At my house, it was the drunks, right? So, you know, we had issues at both houses, but we would talk about things. Before we went, we would set ground rules. If this happened or if that happened, we're leaving. We're leaving. That's one thing. You need to understand that I know that's your mother, your father, your aunts. I understand it's family. I understand we are family, but remember this. Don't ever forget this. Don't ever put any family before your family. Let me say that again. Don't ever put any family before your family. What does that mean? If we're at my house and we're having a Thanksgiving dinner and my wife starts attacking Joe, my son-in-law, and she's being out of order, Aisha and Joe first family is their family. Aisha, Joe, London, Angelo, and Santino, from littlest to biggest. If my wife is being out of order and Aisha feels that, then Aisha and Joe need to get themselves together and get their stuff, and they need to leave. And they don't need to feel bad about that. They don't need to feel, no, because you've got to protect your children, especially if you have kids. Do not allow your kids to sit in a family holiday gathering and watch you get in a full-blown fight with your sister, with your brother, argument, yelling, screaming, cussing at each other. Do not let your children see you act that way. That's what you got to protect. Now, with my wife and me, when we would go over during these family times, we would also make sure that one of the deals we made, and Pastor Frank can talk to this, was one of us always had to be around our children. Right. We didn't allow our kids to go in rooms and just have these one-on-one conversations. Want to talk about that?
Right, because a lot of times when kids are alone, period, things go awry that shouldn't happen.
Even when it's cousins.
Yeah, even when it's cousins. Yeah. So me and you, we made a deal that we would always, you know, be a part of that conversation.
Right.
And they don't need to go off alone. They would always want to. And Mom, why can't I go in the room? Well, I'm coming in the room, and you get all these looks. But it just kept down a lot of confusion, because later you found out this one said this and that one said that. So that was our deal. That was our way of protecting our children and making sure we know what went on in the room.
Yeah. I think also it's imperative that when you go, especially when you're at someone else's house, that you have a safe room. There's a room that you can go into when things start to get ugly and kind of get away from that. Maybe you don't want to leave, or just step out, just, know your outside surroundings, right? Go outside. Just, hey, you know what? If things are starting to get riled up, hey, we're going to go for a walk. Just, hey, man, it's, we've eaten, we've had a lot of turkey. We want to go for a walk.
You can go to the bathroom. No one's going to follow you there.
Well, that's individual. I'm talking about when things really get going, the family, right? You just kind of go out. I think another thing that you need to realize is that you're only responsible for you. You're only responsible for you. So, not the rude comments. People are going to say things to you, but that doesn't mean you got to reciprocate. You're only responsible for you. If one of your sisters or your in-laws are attacking you, again, one of the things that we got to realize is that things are going to get off the rails. And again, if you have a family that is volatile, and let me tell you, everybody who's watching tonight that have had volatile family situations, big arguments, fights break out, not fist fights, but arguments that maybe you want to have. If you've ever had that at a Thanksgiving dinner or at a Christmas dinner, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up right now. If you see all the thumbs up there, you're not alone. Amen. This goes on a lot. So you got to remember, you're responsible for you. And then lastly, and I want to close with this, we just came out of Thanksgiving. I hope all of you had a great Thanksgiving holiday. I hope we're not talking about any of y'all that this just happened, right? But we're getting ready to go into Christmas. And what I want to tell you is Christmas, the ultimate reason of Christmas is the great love that God showed for us. Amen. He showed us such great love that he sent his only begotten son to die for us. So the last thing I want to tell you about family is, remember, family is family. And if there's anybody that we should be able to love lavishly for, it should be our family. Again, when things get personal, when things get nasty, it's time to go. It's time to leave. But don't always have to be right. Sometimes it's okay not to have the answer. Sometimes, even when Uncle Junebug is talking about this stock he made $1 million on, and he didn't make $10 on it, let Uncle Junebug and his wine have his little $1 million story. You don't have to be cardinal corrector. You don't have to correct everything, especially as a Christian. Well, let me tell you what the Bible says. You don't need to do all that. If you want what you believe and how you feel to flow from you, you need to love lavishly, right?
Yes, I totally agree. That's good. Very, very good. It's not always easy.
Right.
But we can do it because we're Christians.
Right.
And we love our families.
Right. Anything you want to say in closing? You've had a lot of chaotic family holidays.
Yes, I've had one instance I'll never forget. I came in the door and I heard someone say, I don't want to call any names, but man, everything's good until she comes. And that hurt
Everything good. Everything is good until she comes. Yeah. Can you imagine hearing that did you hear it from a family member?
Yes. And it hurt me. It hurt me for years.
Wow.
For years it did. And I started my new policy. I arrive late and I leave early.
I arrive late and I leave early.
Yeah.
That is wisdom for somebody. I arrive late and I leave early. Think about that. Could you imagine hearing that? Everything is good until she comes. Listen, folks, family can be some of the most hurtful people in the world, but family can also be some of the people that when you need them most, they're in your corner. It's a tough life. It's a tough walk. We get it. We understand it. But just when it comes to the holidays, like I said, I know you just got out of Thanksgiving. I pray you had a great Thanksgiving. But we're getting ready to go into Christmas and the Christmas season. Let's make a decision to love lavishly. Amen. Let's make a decision that we're going to try not to have those fights. And if you know that you got that volatile family, just think about the wisdom from Pastor Franny. Arrive late and leave early. Man, we hope that you guys have enjoyed this segment. of Heart of the Matter. Man, we've had a real fun time. We're always excited to see you guys. Listen, if the shows that we're doing have been a blessing to you, we want you to tell a friend about it. We really want you to let some folks know, man, we're going to have some dynamite topics that we're going to be covering in the new year. We are excited. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Heart of the Matter tonight. And listen, we're so excited about the new year and what we're going to be doing. So we will see you next Friday on the Heart of the Matter.
Thanks for watching tonight. If this show has been a blessing to you, help us be a blessing to others. There are two major ways you can help us do that. The first way is your financial support. We'd love for you to partner with us. With as little as $10, you can help us reach about 1,000 people. It's pretty awesome, right? Every dollar helps us get this message to the world. So just go to ltmorlando.org/THM to give today. The second way, you can show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at LTM Orlando. Your support on social goes a long way. Thanks again for watching tonight, and we'll see you next week on the Heart of the Matter.